Here we are at the end of November, and this month was a bit more of a struggle to get things played than some of the other months. It was a bit busier of a month, but then there were just some technical issues that I was struggling with during the month that really set back some progress on what I wanted to get done. I was still able to get some playing done this month, so let's take a look at what I played for November 2022. So let's start with completed games. I didn't fully complete any games this month in terms of story or achievements. What I do have on this list is a game that I have stopped playing, and that game is Splitgate. I decided that this month was going to be the last month of Splitgate for me. I just wasn't feeling Splitgate anymore. It was going to take a lot of grinding to get the last trophy I was going for, and I just wasn't really enjoying the game enough to keep it up. There weren't going to be any new maps or improvements to the game, and I think that just caused the game to lose some standing, in my opinion. I never hated it, and I had fun for the majority of the time that I played it, but I just felt like it was time to move on. The developers had kind of moved on from the game, so I just kind of felt like, I don't know, that there wasn't a lot to hang around for at that point. I did play some story games this month as well. A lot of these are carryovers from last month, but I did add one new one to the list. First game for stories is Dead Nation Apocalypse Edition. I continued playing my way through the zombie-infested world of Dead Nation. Out of my story games, this was probably the one I played the most this month. While it wasn't a game heavy on story, I did wind up finishing the campaign mode and also played a few of the other modes as well just to try them out. I was hoping to get a review out this month for the game, but wound up losing a bunch of progress I had towards doing that, so I didn't quite get there. Hopefully it will be out early next month though. But if you're looking for some fun zombie shoot 'em up action, this isn't a bad game as long as you're not playing on the PlayStation 5. While it is still technically playable, it has a bunch of issues and it can get kind of frustrating to have the game crash as often as it does. I do still have some trophies to get on this game, and I'll probably still do it even though I am playing on a PlayStation 5, so I'm sure you'll be seeing Dead Nation again in later videos. The second game in the story mode is Overcooked All You Can Eat Edition. While I did play Overcooked again this month with my wife, we were again only able to play it once during November. We really only tend to play when we're by ourselves during the day, so that limits us to Fridays when the kids have school. But when we have other things going on during Fridays, it makes it hard to play. I don't even think we played that much this month when we did play it the one Friday we were able to. And so we didn't really make a lot of progress in the story. I'm guessing this will be a game we don't get to play too much next month either, with Christmas looming. I guess we'll have to see. Maybe we'll get to play once, but I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get to it all. The third game here is Our Life Beginnings and Always. I did wind up playing a little bit more of Our Life Beginnings and Always this month, but not as much as I would have liked to. I was expecting to get a little further in the story than I did. I'm still in the childhood part of the story and still have a couple of the DLC moments to get through before moving on to adolescence. I've enjoyed the game so far. I've really enjoyed the time I've spent with it. I just haven't gotten around to playing it as much as I thought I would. It's still a great, chill, visual novel style game, and if you really enjoy slice of life style games, then this is definitely one you might want to check out. And then the new addition to the list, the fourth story game that I've been playing, is Jak and Daxter. So after beating the story mode of Dead Nation Apocalypse Edition, I moved to a new game on the PlayStation 5, and that is Jak and Daxter. Jak and Daxter is a 3D platformer game that was originally on the PlayStation 2. In it, you play the titular duo of Jak and Daxter, and you're mainly trying to turn Daxter back to normal after he got turned into a little rodent type thing when falling into dark eco. So to do this, you have to go and find power cells throughout the world, and I'm sure the story grows and gets a little bit more involved as you progress, but I haven't really gotten that far in it yet. I've enjoyed what I've played so far, but it has taken some getting used to. The control scheme is so very PlayStation 2 era and isn't able to be changed, even though this was kind of a PlayStation 4 remaster. I guess that's the actual term. It's been a little disorienting to try to figure that all out, but I've always enjoyed the platformer genre, and while I haven't played a lot of it this month, I've had fun exploring the early parts of the game so far. Moving on from story games, I'll be focusing on the games that I call endless games. These are games that I largely play for fun and enjoy quite a bit. They can be online PvP type games, arcade style games, sandbox, creative, simulation, or party games. Any of those kind of fall into this category. So let's take a look at what I have in the endless category for this month. The first is Fortnite. As usual, Fortnite was one of my big games in this category for November. I felt like we played a bit more Fortnite this month as a family than we did in October, but in addition to playing with family, I played a little bit more in solos. I was even able to score a couple wins in solo this month, which is very unusual for me, so it made me pretty happy. Because I was a bit uncertain if I was going to get all of the bonus styles in the battle pass, not including the super levels, but I was able to get them and even get all of the celestial skins unlocked. So I'm pretty happy with where I am progress-wise. I was also kind of surprised to hear that this season was going to be the end of Chapter 3. It makes me kind of wonder what Fortnite has in store for Chapter 4 and why it's a change in chapter in the first place. It kind of seems like they must have some kind of big ideas going on, but I don't really know. The second game in the endless category is Bloons Td6. Out of all the endless games this month, I think Bloons Td6 has been the game I've played the most during November. This mainly came in the form of playing contested territories. The whole family has really been invested in Bloons, so I've been wanting to help our team get some better rewards in that mode, which has led me to play Bloons quite a bit. We also had the occasional co-op play session as a family, one of which led to the chaotic scene that you're seeing here. We wound up getting to round 189 before the game crashed hard and ended our run. Bloons has definitely been a game that we've been enjoying more and more over time. So November was no different, and we've kind of been increasing how much we've been playing. Third game here is Jackbox Party Pack 3. We always seem to play at least one night of a Jackbox Party Pack each month, and this month it was Jackbox Party Pack 3. We played this early on in the month, and we always have fun playing one of these, whichever one we wind up playing. I think Quiplash and Faking It were the games we played this month on this party pack. So I definitely recommend the Jackbox Party Pack games for some fun party game action. Even if you have somewhat younger kids, you can always put on a family-friendly filter as long as you're playing any of the Jackbox Party Packs starting with the second one. And that makes it much more accessible for a wider age range. I know that we use that with our kids. And they'd also be better games than playing with just 4, but we're still able to have good fun with just the 4 of us here, even though, more would probably make for a more enjoyable experience. The last game on the endless list is Terraria. There was one day around Thanksgiving where my kids were home while my wife had to go back to work, so we wound up revisiting our world that we created and played over the summer. We had a fairly productive time of things. I started to develop an underground jungle near our spawn point, and it produced a couple life fruit. We were also able to take out the Queen Slime and the Twins, which were our last mechanical boss that we hadn't beaten yet. So we were able to accomplish a decent amount. And even though that I wound up dying so many times while trying to explore the underground desert that's also near our main base, it was kind of a mixed bag. But Terraria is always a game that it's easy to lose a lot of time in. And the hour and a half we played went by super quick and was overall enjoyable, even if it was a little frustrating dying so much to the underground desert. Finally, we have the games I'm working on trophies or achievements for. I may not get all the trophies in these games, but these are the games I'm working on at the moment. Like I did with Splitgate this month, I could drop these games if I don't feel like grinding for 100% completion, but I try to get them done the best I can. And the first game here is Brawlhalla. I've been on a mighty quest over the last number of months to get 3 characters up to level 25. I've also been trying to do the trophy for getting all 6 eliminations in a 2v2 match this month as well. Problem is, I'm really not all that good at Brawlhalla and fighting games in general, so this is seeming that it's going to be unlikely to happen. I have 2 legends at the level 25 goal, and the last one is on level 22, so I'm getting close. I know I'll get the level 25 trophy, but I'm really not sure about the 2v2 trophy. I'll try for a little bit to try to get it, but then I might just give up on playing that mode because I don't really feel like I'm even getting close. I think there's been a couple times where I've managed to get 4 or 5, but getting that 6th one just seems really tough. So the second game is Gems of War. Now I've been playing Gems of War off and on this month as well, but I haven't really had a grand plan of attack this month. I've been playing a variety of modes. Sometimes it is doing the daily adventure quest. Sometimes it is doing underground delves, but nothing has been too consistent. Just playing gains levels, which will help me towards some of the trophies. But a lot of these trophies will take just quite a bit of grinding, so it doesn't really matter what I've been doing. So I just do a little bit of everything, and that's kind of the way I've been approaching it this month. Maybe there'll be something that comes up in December that gives me a little bit more direction, but for November, I didn't really have a whole lot. And then the last trophy game and last game for November is Katamari Dynasty Reroll. This is the trophy game that I've been working the most on this month. I've been focused on trying to collect all the different items in the game and get 100% completion on that collection list. And I spent time preparing a list of items, looking through all the holes that I had, finding out using a guide where these could be found, and then making sure I had lists for each level so I could do this a little bit easier. And that did help a little bit, but I still wasn't able to get them done quick enough to have this be a completed game this month. When I was preparing this list, I only had one item left to get, and it's one of those ones that's on one of the harder levels because it's one of the levels that you can only roll up one of a certain type of thing. Like it was the bear level in this case. So I had to kind of get that last biggest bear on the map and just wasn't able to do it before November ended. Actually, since I'm recording this in December, I have managed to get it already. So definitely be on the completed list for next month, but I didn't quite get it completed in November. So that's what I've been playing in November of 2022. It's a common feeling at this point to wish I finished up a few more games this month, but it is what it is. I'm all set up for Katamari Dynasty Reroll to be out on the completed list for December, and then I will maybe try to focus a little bit more on some of my story-based games or some other games that I need to finish up trophies on. Of course, December is always a super busy month for us, as it is for many, so we'll see what actually happens. It could be that I don't get nearly as much playing done as what I would hope. So, what about you? What have you played during the month of November 2022? Have you played new releases, old favorites, or have you too been working on your backlog of games? I'd love to hear what you've been playing in the comments. Whatever you've been playing, I hope that you've been having a lot of fun. That's all for this month, and we'll see you next time.